Hello, and welcome to this channel. In 64 CE, the Roman Empire was thrown into chaos by a devastating fire that would become known as Nero's Inferno. Legend has it that the emperor himself started the blaze, but is there any truth to this? And if so, why did he do it? To answer these questions, we all first need to look at the events leading up to the disaster, and then examine how historians have interpreted Nero's essays. To get a better sense of what's at stake here, let's use some research tools to learn more about the fire itself. A good place to start is an encyclopedia entry, which will give us a concise summary of the event. Now, let's return to the main topic of this video, Nero's Inferno. In fact, most historians agree that there is no direct proof that Nero was involved in starting the fire. What little evidence does exist is often open to interpretation and can be used to support various theories. If we search for the name of the fire in an online encyclopedia, the top result should be a Wikipedia article, which is usually a good starting point. Do's account is particularly interesting because he claims that Nero started the fire accidentally while trying to clear land for a new pleasure boat. Some historians argue that Nero's actions following the fire, such as providing food and shelter to the homeless and donating money to rebuild public buildings, however, that doesn't mean that we can't learn from the event itself and the different ways that historians have interpreted it. Was he motivated by a desire for power, wealth, or personal gain? Or were there other factors at play? To explore these possibilities, let us delve into the historical context surrounding Nero's rule and the state of Rome at the time. The lack of clear answers encourage us to critically examine the evidence, consider multiple perspectives, and develop our own informed opinions. One valuable resource in this regard is the biography of Nero, written by the Roman historian Suetonius. In this work, Suetonius paints a vivid picture of Nero's erratic and often cruel behavior, highlighting his paranoia, megalomania, and insatiable appetite for luxury. As we discussed earlier, the fire destroyed a significant portion of the city, leaving many citizens homeless and in need of assistance. This mindset could explain why he was willing to sacrifice the lives of his own people to achieve his goals. Furthermore, Suetonius' account of Nero's lavish spending habits and obsession with wealth could offer insight into his alleged decision to start the fire in order to profit from the destruction. Whether or not he was directly responsible for the disaster, his actions both before and after the fire have left a lasting mark on history. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors and hope that you continue to learn and grow. Until next time, the Great Fire of Rome is a pivotal event in the history of the ancient world, and its impact on the city, its people, and the Julio-Claudian dynasty is undeniable, and could have easily funded these projects from his personal fortune without resorting to allegedly starting a deadly fire. And his work is often considered to be a collection of gossip and rumor rather than a balanced biography. Nevertheless, Suetonius' account provides a valuable window into the mindset of a man who was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals, even if it meant sacrificing the lives of innocent people. It also highlights the importance of critical thinking and the need to examine historical sources carefully in order to separate fact from fiction. Instead, it seems that Nero was motivated by a complex combination of factors, including a desire for power, wealth and personal gain, as well as a misguided sense of entitlement and a lack of regard for human life. Nero's response to this crisis could have been driven by a combination of genuine concern for his people and a desire to improve his public image. By providing food, shelter, and financial aid to those affected by the fire, Nero could demonstrate his compassion and leadership abilities, thus winning over the hearts and minds of the Roman people. At the same time, these actions would also serve the practical purpose of securing funding for his ambitious projects. By engaging with these questions, we not only deepen our understanding of ancient Rome, but also hone our critical thinking and research skills, demonstrate that he genuinely cared about his people and wanted to help them recover from the tragedy. Others, however, argue that these actions were nothing more than a clever way for Nero to win back the favor of his people after starting the fire in the first place. This story, however, is not supported by any other evidence and is likely a later invention aimed at tarnishing Nero's reputation. A great resource for getting quick overviews of historical topics is an online encyclopedia. So let's search for a few related terms. Additionally, Tacitus was known for his critical view of Nero and may have been influenced by rumors or propaganda. One valuable resource is the Roman historian Tacitus's account of the fire in his book, The Annals. According to Tacitus, Nero was in Antium when the fire began, and initially sent his wife Poppaea Sabina to oversee the situation. However, as the flames spread, Nero returned to Rome, took command, and organized the relief efforts. He is also said to have walked through the burning city, comforting the victims and surveying the damage. First, we'll click on the link for Ancient Rome, which gives us an overview of the city from its founding until modern times. Next, we'll click on the history of firefighting, which discusses the development of fire safety measures throughout various civilizations. Finally, we'll read about Nero's reign, which covers his rise to power, policies, and legacy. Reading through the entry, we can see that the fire lasted for 6 days and destroyed roughly 10% of the city, killing thousands. While this is a helpful introduction to the topic, the purpose of an encyclopedia is merely to summarize information rather than provide original insights. So to fully understand the significance of the fire, we'll need to dig deeper. In addition to searching for articles about the fire itself, we can also broaden our search to related topics such as ancient Rome, the history of firefighting, or the reign of Nero. For instance, if we wanted to learn more about ancient Rome, we could click on the See Also section to access related articles like urban planning, aqueducts, and the Roman Senate. Similarly, the Nero entry provides links to other relevant topics, such as the Julio-Claudian dynasty and the Great Fire of Rome. These connections allow us to explore a vast network of historical information and gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the past. When searching for background information, we want to find reputable sources that offer different perspectives on the topic. Let's take a look at some options. Now that we've gotten a sense of the historical context, let's go even deeper by exploring additional resources. By utilizing these tools, we can ensure that we're approaching our topic with a solid foundation of background knowledge. As we mentioned earlier, legend has it that the Emperor Nero started the fire himself. However, the evidence for this claim is far from conclusive. To better understand the situation, Let us examine some primary sources that shed light on Nero's actions following the outbreak of the fire. While Tacitus's account provides insight into Nero's behavior during the disaster, it is important to note that he was writing decades after the event and may not have had access to all of the facts. Another valuable source is the account of the Greek historian Dio Cassius, who wrote around 200 years after the fire. Given the conflicting and often biased accounts of the fire, it's difficult to separate fact from fiction and determine Nero's true role in the disaster. Ultimately, the question of whether or not Nero started the fire may never be definitively answered. So let's continue to explore these questions. What might explain Nero's alleged actions during the fire? One potential explanation for Nero's behavior is the idea that he was desperate for funds to pay for his lavish lifestyle and building projects. However, this explanation overlooks the fact that Nero was one of the wealthiest men in the empire. To better understand the complexities of Nero's character and motivations, let's explore the historical sources that provide insight into his personality and worldview. According to Suetonius, Nero was obsessed with the idea that he was destined to be a great emperor, and that any obstacles in his path needed to be removed. It's important to note, however, that Suetonius was writing several centuries after Nero's death. Despite the lack of clear answers, the mystery surrounding Nero's alleged role in starting the fire continues to fascinate historians and the general public alike. While the true cause of the fire may never be known, the event serves as a reminder of the fragility of human civilization and the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition and greed. So what are your thoughts on the case? Do you think that Nero was responsible for starting the fire, or was there another culprit? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more educational content.